is not going to be at the Democracy Council, the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. A friend of mine asked me, what is it to you to see Syria at the Human Rights Council of the United Nations? So I told him it's like having your kids babysat by a pedophile. And I believe it's the same, it's like the same image exactly. A country that have been in less than a month, starting from March 15th until now, we have more than 1,000 people get killed. Averagely 16% every day. And they are killing people in a very brutal way. They are shooting on people who are unarmed, peaceful protesters, people who are shouting for freedom. They're using tanks, they are using heavy guns, armored vehicles, and they're even using helicopters to look the areas where the demonstrating are happening. We found like a few days ago, yesterday, videos were revealed of mass graves in Syria. Just a day after the army withdrew from one of the city, Daraa city, they discovered a mass grave, like tens of people were buried in a very brutal way. I wish we have a projector, but I mean, you are eating, I don't want to damage your appetite. So, like yesterday, we saw also a video, they were using a tank to run over a person in a very cold blood. And in a very rude way, they wanted to join the Council of the Human Rights of the United Nations. Now, despite I told you that I was happy that seeing Syria is not in the Human Rights Council of the United Nations, but this is not enough. We have a lot of crimes, as I say. Until now, we don't know how many people have been killed today. Media is blacked out, completely media blacked out on Syria. There is no, in some area where the area that they are storming on, they are blocking the internet. It's like, not only internet, internet, like people, their food was damaged, they can't eat. And we have a city of Daraa has been like for more than 14 days, like on a complete blockage. And we haven't heard a lot of like media attention about that, or any big condemning from the international community. While when it happened in another part of the world, we're seeing the whole world speaking and screaming about that. So the kids were not allowed, even they couldn't get their milk, the dairy milk, their grocery. I mean, and we haven't seen anything. The tank's still there, the army's still there. They're brutally arresting people and killing people. Now I would. The hypocrisy about this, that a lot of leaders in the West and a lot of people in the United Nations, they still think of Assad as a reformer because he's a young guy. They think he's not like Gaddafi. I think he's no different than Gaddafi, except in the appearance. Gaddafi might look different than Assad. Assad, he knows how to speak to the Westerner. He's using the 2 years that he studied in London to look as a Western educated. We forgot that he had more than 33 years under the school of his father, Hafez Assad, who killed more than 50,000 Syrian people. Not only in Syria, also he was responsible in killing American people in Lebanon when they supported Hezbollah, and also Bashar Assad when they allowed the terrorists to go to Iraq. So we have, also like Assad is using the image of his wife. His wife is like a British Syrian. She's a fashion. She dressed very well, and the media, they spoke about her. I mean, like the Vogue magazine. It's a British magazine. They just 2 months ago they were speaking about her well manicured nails. Now in Syria we are saying, speaking about the nails, I come up with I remember this incident in the city of Daraa where the uprising started in Syria. The reason happened because there were small kids, 15 kids. They are 9 years of age. Imagine 9 years of age at their 4th grade. They wrote on the wall of their class. They just saw it on the TV. The people want to topple down the regime. And the next day, and they put their name in a very innocent way. They didn't know that they are doing something like that would upset the authority. They were taken from their schools in front of their colleagues. They are 9 years of age, and they put them in the prison for more than 30 days. When they get out from the prison, their nails were extracted, and they pulled their nails. I mean, all of their body is like that. They were beaten hard. So what I said recently, that the media attention and some Western media attention was on Assad wife's nail, and now we're speaking about the nails of these innocent kids who were like extracted. And the regime now is using the propaganda, same as Gaddafi, same as Hosni Mubarak, that we have Salafi in Syria, we have Islamic people who are opposing us. It's not as you think. It's not democratic, which is not true. I'm a Syrian person. I belong to a minority group in the country, I'm not from a non-Muslim background. I know the fact about Syria, that Syria, one of the few countries in the Middle East that it's so diverse and people are living together. We never had any kind of like sectarian conflict until Assad came to the power. And the people there are, and the Islam, even the Islam in Syria, the Sunni Islam in Syria is not the type of radical Islam. It's so diverse, the Sunni in Syria. They are 65% and they are so diverse. So you don't have like the whole Islamist people in the country. The other thing, like most of the protesters, a lot of people who came from, they are Christian, they are protesting. We have Muslims, they are protesting. Alawite, even though they belong to the Assad clan, they are protesting. There is no proof that there is any Islamic or Salafi or terrorism inside the country. And it's so funny or dark humor that we have a country or a president that they are exporting terrorism, and they are having in their country Hamas, one of the terrorist organizations, Al-Jihad al-Islami as well, and they have Hezbollah supporting Hezbollah, and they are accusing the protesters of being Islamist or of being terrorism. I will speak briefly also about my story. I mean, I, like many people in the West, I thought I was fooled by Assad. When I was 16 years of age, Assad took the power. I was young. And we were so happy. They forced us to dance on the street to celebrate him. But I was happy about that because first we had 40 days of mourning, forced mourning in the country, because Assad, the father, died. So everybody should wear black, and we're not allowed to listen to music and to show any kind of happiness. So we're happy that Assad, the son, took the power because he's young. We will end up the mourning in the country. And back then, as I told you, I was dancing and shaking for Assad, welcoming Assad. I didn't know that 3 years after that I would be shaking in a cell, a solitary confinement, where they jailed me simply because I went to the wrong website. I was 22 years of age. I was in an internet cafe in Damascus, exploring websites that they are speaking about democracy, about human rights. I want to learn more about what's going on in my country. And all of a sudden, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. A patrol of like 5 plainclothes soldiers with heavy guns. They are pointing the guns on our head. It was me and my friend. They took us, put us in the trunk of the car, and they drove to their headquarters. Back then I didn't know who's taking us. They didn't show you any proof. They didn't give you any permission from the court that they are going to arrest you. They don't show anything, or they don't reveal their identity. I told them, I mean, I thought it's a mafia are hijacking us, until I saw the picture of Bashar Assad on the wall. I knew that I'm now arrested by the government. And their answer was they punched me, and we were subjected to torture, and moreover the psychological torture, which is the worst. Like I was jailed in a 5 feet long, 3 feet solitary confinement, windowless. It has no light. You're not allowed to go out of it. We have nothing. They take the pen from us. They take everything. So just sitting a whole day, doing nothing in the solitary confinement. The toilet is just a hole, literally a hole in the ground, and they don't take us out. So I spent the first 10 days in the solitary confinement without even seeing the light. I still remember when I get out, even it's a short period of time compared to many other dissidents who spend years in the same condition. So when I went out, I couldn't walk like properly at the beginning, because all the time is sitting in the same position. You can't move. Even the light, when you see the light, it damages the eyes, because like all the time is dark, just dark. You're seeing nothing. Like we say a proverb in Arabic, like if you do your finger like this, you don't see it. And it literally happened with me. Like I couldn't see my finger inside this dark cell. So this is the young president, the West-educated president. This is their propaganda. I mean, I was young as well. I'm not an Islamic person. As I said, as I mentioned, I belong to, my father is a Greek Christian, and we're a secular family, and they subjected me and thousands of people who are like me to the same condition. Actually, I would speak also about, briefly about 8 of my friends, who they came from variety of backgrounds. In Syria we have like Alawite, Sunni, Druze and Christian. They are 8. They were all arrested because they tried to form a secular group at the Damascus University after they fed up from the Islamic propaganda and the Arabic national propaganda at the university, that they are blaming everything on conspiracy and on the West. We know that we should blame the real player in the country, our country, the regime, not the West. So they tried to form something secular, and they were all arrested. One of my friend's father, he asked the officer who arrested them, he told them, like, you should encourage them. They represent all backgrounds of Syria. They are making a national unity. Do you want Al-Qaeda? Do you want Islamic group? And then the officer, he said, no, these people are more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. I would prefer Al-Qaeda because these people are diverse, so they are exposing more threat to us. So this is the regime in Syria. The Al-Qaeda doesn't really expose any threat for them. Any Islamic group, the real people who expose threat for them is the secular people who are marching now in the street in Syria and who are in the prison. We have now more than 10,000 prisoners in less than a month. They are being subjected to a very brutal torture. We managed to see a lot of videos from people who went out of the prison. It's unbelievable. You can't believe it. Like in a few days, they are just, because there's no places now to arrest a lot of people. The prison are full. So they are arresting people for 7 days if they are not that dangerous for them. Torture them very brutal, so they go out and tell everybody and nobody dares to do anything. In conclusion, I mean, so far we still, as I said now, I just like was checking my iPhone, my friend were informing me. I mean, still there is like people injured, there is people being arrested every day. And today President Obama was speaking. He didn't really was so harsh on Assad regime. We don't see a very harsh stance from the international community. What we wish, we are people that we are facing this regime with our body. We don't have even stones, and they are facing us with tanks, weapons and guns. So what we wish, at least the support from the international community. At least they ask him to leave. I mean, like nobody asked him to leave so far. They told him they still wish that he can reform. This is what I wanted to say, and I'm happy to hear any question. Thank you.